So next, we will take a look at what is data modeling, what is what is relationship, how do we define or create relationship between tables. So far, we discussed about how to connect to different type of data files using Power BI. So now what we will do is we will move ahead and take a look at what exactly data model and why we need to do data model, and then let's see how to create relationship between the tables. Okay. So as part of this, you will be learning what is cardinality, what is the type of relationship. Cardinality is nothing but relationship. Okay. When it comes to data modeling, cardinality is nothing but the relationship. One-to-many relationship. A single parent, a single father can have more than one kid, right? In practically in real life scenario. And similarly here, right? So one-to-one relationship. What do you mean by one-to-one relationship in real time scenario? For Aadhaar card number, right? Each citizen in India should have only one Aadhaar number. Each person can have more than one account in a bank, whereas each citizen in a country should have only one Aadhaar number. So person, Aadhaar, right? Each person should have only one Aadhaar, and each Aadhaar number should assign to a single person. It should not be duplicated. That is an example for one-to-one relationship. Many-to-many relationship, multiple records are associated with multiple records, right? So that is what many-to-many relationship. So one-to-one, one-to-many, and then the opposite is many-to-one. There are situations you will find many-to-one relationship also. Okay, and then we will take a look at how to deal with many-to-many relationship. This one, we will discuss it tomorrow. Okay, whatever thing that is possible today, right? Within this duration, we'll see that. Okay, so now the question is, what and why of data model? Okay, so what is a data model? A data model is nothing but a kind of a roadmap or architect's blueprint, a building architect's blueprint. A builder, right? Before, listen, an architect, building architect, before we construct a house, we consult them. They create they design a blueprint, they'll give it to us. Why we need a blueprint? Before you construct a house, if you have a blueprint, you will get to know, where the living room should be there, where the kitchen should be there, where the restroom should be there, right? You will get to know that. And also, where and all you need the taps, so that when you open the tap, you will get the water. If you don't keep the water in the right place, what will happen? You need to, for example, in the kitchen, if you don't keep the tap, what will happen? Let's say you kept the tap in your kitchen, bedroom. You need to go and, get the water from your kitchen to your, from your bedroom to your kitchen. It will make your life difficult, right? So that's the reason why we come up with a blueprint, and then we decide what things should be, there where. Similarly, when it comes to data modeling, what we do is we come up with a data model design. Once we come up with the solid data model design, what we do next? Sorry. Right. So once we come up with the data model, once you have the solid data model design in place, and if you go ahead and build your application, for example, you want to develop a mobile app or you want to develop a website, if you want to develop any application, right? One of the important steps is before you proceed with building any application, make sure that your data model, the design of the data model is solid. Okay. So that like a building's blueprint. Okay. So after you create your application, later point, if you think you want to add additional tables, it may lead to some kind of major rework. For that purpose, what we do is we first decide what entities that are required, and each entity, what column should go in here, and what relation should be created between the tables. Everything we decide as per the data model. So as per the data model, what we do is we define the relationship. Okay. If you have more than one table, then we have to define the relationship between the tables. You might be asking, sir, I have only one table. Then you don't have to create any relationship because you have only one table. If you have more than one table, you need to create a relationship. For example, you need to indicate the relationship between customers and orders. A single customer can raise more than one order. Okay. So this is kind of a one-to-many relationship. Okay, with this type of relationship in place, we are ready to be able to transform this data, and we can combine some columns. We can merge data from different data sources. We can also change the data type, everything. Okay. So as part of the data model design, there are three phases are there. So how many of you are aware of the data model, software development life cycle? If you work on any software, for example, you got recruited to a software company, right? So before they start the project, define the methodology, software development life cycle. Okay. As part of this, the first phase is the requirement phase. Okay. The here itself is a requirement phase. Okay. And then the next one is the design phase. Once the design has been done, the next one is cut phase, coding and unit testing. As a developer, you are going to develop the report and then you do the testing also. As a report developer, it is your responsibility to perform the testing also. Developing the report alone not sufficient, you need to test it. And then the next thing is the QA testing team. We have a separate testing team. So what they do is they will test your code from the functionality point of view. Okay. And everything is fine. Then there is a UAT team, user acceptance. Users will come and test your report. They apply different filters and then they'll see everything is, all the calculations are done correctly or not. And then it gets moved to the production environment. Once it goes to this, very critical, okay, no one will be allowed to the production. Only oddly few people have access to production environment. If something goes wrong here, it will have major impact on your business. So, okay, coming to this point, right? So when do we do the data model design in this software development life cycle? This is the phase. This is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6. In which phase we do the concept. So as at the end of the requirement, gathering. So let's say let's say you work for Accenture. You work for a company called Accenture. Accenture is in Pune. Okay, you are working in Accenture Pune office. Okay, here in Pune Accenture office, 10 developers, 10 people are there in your project. So on from Accenture side, right, as part of your group, your team, one guy will be working from customer side. For example, there is a Walmart company. So here one guy will be there, one or two guy will be there. So he is the one will talk to the customer, understand the requirements, and then he will help the offshore team to understand what are the requirements given by the customer. Okay, but this guy is also from Accenture, but because of the coordination, client coordination, offshore coordination, he would have play position at the customer places. So he'll be working out of the Walmart office itself. Okay. So what this guy do is he's the one responsible for collecting the requirements from in conjunction with the customers. He gather the requirement, and then what he does is at the end of the requirement phase, we'll come up with the conceptual data model. So what do you mean by conceptual data model? The conceptual data model is something like abstract of your data model. Okay, a business abstraction of your business. What do you mean by abstraction of my business? So as for the conceptual model, for example, you are part of a retail business. Okay. So you are at the end of the requirement phase. What you are doing is you are trying to understand what are the tables that are required to create the reports. First, you will understand the tables, which are nothing but the entities. For example, you have something called product table, customer table, and then you have something called sales table. Okay, sales table. And then you have something called store table, because you are selling retail, you are into retail business. You are operating across different locations, right? Different stores. Okay. So, or you need to capture all the, you need to specify, you need to store all the store related information, all the customer information, you store it here. Each product you specify it here. What is the product ID, product name, start date, end date, cost, price, okay, and then the status, active or inactive, something like that, okay. And here also the customer ID, customer key, customer name, and start date and end date, how long this customer have been doing the business with you, and then status, something like that, okay. Only customer related information, only product information, store related information. The sales will have all these three information except the all these tables, key columns here, okay. So first thing is, as for the conceptual data model, you want to understand what the tables are there at a high level, big picture, okay. And then you will also get to know the data flow, right? So which table we need to have the data first, and then which table we need to have the data next. First you need to have the data in all these are called the product, customer, store. These are called your lookup table, or in the case of data warehouse we call the dimensional tables, lookup table or dimension tables. Supposing, why this is called dimension tables, the product table, customer table, and store table, these are called as a lookup table or dimension table. Why? Because with the dimension table only we can give the context to the data. Suppose in this sales column, right, in the table, in one record I can see 100. So what the hell this 100 is all about? Is this a quantity? Okay, in the sales table I have a column called quantity. Quantity is 100. The sales amount is 1,000. Okay, if you look here, quantity is 100, sales is 1,000. Is that sufficient? Your manager wants to know which customers, he wants to see the breakdown of the total quantity and total sales purchased by each top 10 customers, right? In this case, the customer table and sales table have some kind of relationship. A single customer can purchase more than one time. This is many side, the one side, many side. Similarly, a single product can appear more than one time in the sale because it's all invoice, right? Today you bought product, Lux soap, you bought it today. After a week again, you go and buy the same soap, right? The product ID for Lux, appears more than once, whereas in the product table, it has to appear only one time. There should not be any duplicate here. Lookup table or dimension table should not any duplicate. Okay, fine. Now going back to this question. Quantity 100 is there, 1,000 is there. But along with this, in this table, we have something called product key. Product key is, AX015. This is for Lux soap. Since I told you this is a Lux soap, right? If you look at this data just like this, how will you get to know this product belongs to which product name? The product key and then the product name will be available here. Product name will be available. We don't store everything in a single table. In that case, the sales table and the product table will get joined together based on the product key, this product key and this product key to get the product name. We are doing the sales table's product key. We are looking at this sales table's product key into your product dimensions product key column. Okay, here the product key AX01, here also AX01 is it. For the AX01, the corresponding product name is Lux. It's a soap. Just don't think too much. If I give you two paper, look here. If I give you two paper, see, if you go to the retail shop, right, a mall or something, a retail shop or mall, what will happen? In the billing clerk, what they do? They'll be holding one sheet in their hand, right? So when they do billing, hey, for Lux soap, what is the product code? They do a lookup here, right? Oh, Lux soap, the product ID is AX01. And then in the billing system, they'll AX01, they bought two. And then the quantity to two, and price will get displayed automatically. When you enter the product ID here, automatically price will get displayed here. And then 2 into this price, that will give the sales amount. Finally, they put the tax, everything. You will get the bill and then you'll walk out. So what you're doing in this case is if you don't know the product code, you go and do a lookup in this sheet, right? Laminated sheet, they will be holding it. Similarly, here what happens is, instead of the paper, right, we will store the data in a table. Product related information only will be there. Customer information will be there. So here, if I wanted to understand what is AX01 is all about, you need to take this column product key and then do a lookup on this product key column in your product table for this specific product key. What is the corresponding product name? When you do a lookup of the AX01 in this table, you will get to know the corresponding product name. That's all. Understood? So here first, as far as the conceptual data model, they identify what are the tables that are required, how these tables are interacting with each other. Like I said, right, to customer, single customer can raise more than one invoice, and each product can appear more than one invoice, one-to-many relationship, and each store, we sell, each store, we raise multiple invoices, one-to-many relationship. How these tables, that is what your conceptual data model. At the end of requirements phase, they will be doing it. And then next one is a logical data model. In the case of logical data model, they give one step further, and by with identified these tables, in each table, what are the columns that are required, and what kind of relationship, right? So each customer buy more than one, they raise, they would have, each customer is associated with more than one invoice. So each customer is single one, many, this is a many side, one-to-many relationship, many-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, everything will be defining it as per the logical data model. In the case of logical data model, we go one step further, identify what are the columns are required in each table, and what kind of one-to-many or many-to-one or many-to-many relationship. That is what we do it as per the logical data model. Once you design your logical data model, you share it with your customers. For example, you work for Walmart, and the Walmart key people, you share it, and they take a look at it, and they'll ask you, there will be a separate design review session. In that case, they'll ask all kind of questions. If they find anything missing, anything wrong, they will tell you, and they need to fix it. Okay, and then you proceed with creating a physical data model. The physical data model, see, in this case, we just identify the tables, right? Tables. And each table, what column should go here, and then relationship, you define it as logical. The physical data model, we go one step further. Here you have the table names already. What are the tables that are we identified? In each table, what are the columns should go? That also you identified as per logical data model. The relationship also you've understood as per the logical data model. The physical data model, we go one step further, and each column, what is the data type and width? Okay. For example, the sales column is a number data type or decimal data type. Quantity is a integer data type. What is the width? Everything we define it as per the physical data model, and then we will take it up with customer again. They will review it and they will approve it. Only when they approve it, you will be going and physicalize the database administrator. There are something called database administrator. They are the one responsible for creating all these tables into a database or data warehouse. So this is what I'm talking, right? So look here, in this case, product table identified, sales table, store table, time table, and then this I'll explain, date dimension. Okay. And once they identify the table at the high level, the next level is, see, again, they identify the relationship, how these tables interact with each other. Logical data modeling, what that is, they go one step further and they identify each table, what are the columns that are required, what kind of relationship needs to be created. Okay. And then what to do is, the third step is physical data modeling. Okay, we identified the tables, and each table, what are the columns that are required, and what relationship should be defined between the tables, we identified. The next step is, each column, what is the data type? Okay, the date is a integer data type, date ID, date description. Take this example, product ID is an integer, product description, category ID. This product belongs to which category? And what is the category description? Unit price, which date we created this product in this table. And then you have something called the facts is a transaction table. a store dimension, right? You will give the proper naming. See, earlier we used the dim, time, and product and all. Here we are prefixing this lookup tables like a time and product with the dim dimension tables. This dimension table gives the context to your the sales amount in this case, right? Items sold and all. These are called your the fact tables, the number data types, right? These are called your facts. That's the reason we call the fact sales. So now we understood in which phase we do the data model design. After completion of at the end of the requirements phase, we'll come up with the conceptual data model. And then as part of the design phase, the high level design, we will create the data model, design everything in detail. And then we get the sign off from the customers. When they say, hey, everything is good, go ahead. Okay, and then we proceed with creating the table, everything. Okay. So now the question is, why data model? Why should I do the data model design? Is it the responsibility of the Power BI developer? If you ask Tableau developer, report developer, or ClickSense, right? They say, no, we never do any data model design. But when it comes to Power BI, you have to do the data model design. This is very specific to Power BI. Otherwise, it will not do the filtering correctly. Okay. For example, I just go here. I will, with this example, I'll help you to understand the importance of doing the data model design. So what I will do is I just click on the Excel workbook. And then I go here, for example, I have something called customers.xlsx. I'll load this file. This kind of a lookup table or dimension table. Each customer name will appear only one time. There should not be any duplicate. Okay. Especially the customer key should not have the duplicate values in it. The next one is I just apply changes. Let's go to the get data. I'm going to load another data file here. So here I say the sales fact XLS file. I'm going to hit this one. Customer and this is a dimension table, this is a fact table. Okay. Fact table is nothing but the transaction table. Remember that. Look here. These are transaction day to day invoice. Let's you are raising all the invoice every day invoices, whatever you raise, everything will be captured in the fact table. I loaded these two tables. Okay, forget about AGG sales. Now we'll go to the data model design, model view. Click on this icon. You can see the data model design here. But here we don't see any relationship, right? The line got created. Forget about AGG sales. Okay, I'll just keep it down. I just move this on the left side and the LC sales. Okay. Here what I do is I just look at this and the customer ID. And can we see customer ID here or customer key here? Customer ID. Look here. Here the customer ID is there, cust ID is there. The column names are different. But as an employee of this company, I know very well the customer ID and cust ID is same. So how do I create the relationship between these two tables? The common column between these two tables, I need to join it. How do I join it? Select the customer ID. Common column, what is the common column? Customer ID and cust ID. Just drag this and drop it over the cust ID. See, usually the customer ID is there. Here also customer ID column will be there. In that case, Power BI will automatically create a relationship. Automatically direct relationship. Since the column names are different, it was not able to identify the common column. I know very well this is nothing but this one. So drag this column and put it on top of this one. Look here, a line got created. Link. This is called link. So on this side of the customer table, we can see one here. On this side of the sales table, you can see the star, one-to-many relationship. There is a one-to-many relationship. Okay, fine. So still, we can go ahead and validate whether the relationship is correct or not, because we have customer key is also there. You see, you might be asking this one, how do you say for sure that customer ID is, this customer ID and custody and customer is same. We have something else called customer key. To overcome this confusion, you just double click on this line here. It will open up the relationship dialog box. Look here, yes, as I suspected, this custody and customer are two different columns. This is not the common column between these two tables. First of all, there is a problem here in the data file itself. Ideally C006. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll just delete the relationship. I think I loaded a wrong file, the customer thing. Okay, let me just. Not that one. Let me just manage relationship. If I go here, this is another way of creating the relationship. Don't worry, I'll explain you. I think I just want to check, where the problem is. Let's say if I go and select this customer table, and then NC sales, custody is C001. Okay, but here it is something different. So hence these two, this is not the file that is related to this one. I just go and check it here. Let me just check dim customer.xls. Yeah, C001 is that. This is the correct file. So what I'm going to do is for the sake of consistency, I'm removing this irrelevant table. Instead, I just go here and then click on the Excel workbook here, dim customer XLS file. Okay. And I'm going to click on the open. In this table, custody column is there. Look, if you see here now, watch very carefully. Here the column, it requires some kind of column promotion. Okay. Yeah. See here, I just go to it requires some kind of treatment, data transformation. I just go here. And then look here, click on the sheet one. I just renamed this a dim customer. Okay. Dim customer dimension table. And I just go to the transform thing. Use first row as it is. So this custody will get moved here, right? Now it makes sense. And if I click on the file and close and apply, Power Editor got closed. Look here, what is happening, okay? Look here, it created a relationship automatically between these two tables. If you keep the cursor on top of this one, we use the term called hover. If you hover the cursor on top of this line, in both the table, a custody column is there. Since custody on the DEM customer, custody on the NC sales, both the column names are same and the values are also same, it creates the relationship automatically. So on the next to the dim customer table, it put one and it put one, more. Star is more. One-to-many relationship. This is called one-to-many relationship. Okay, now let us go back to the earlier discussion. Why data model? For example, I just click on the table visual. This is called a table visual. If you click on it once, it will get dragged to your report canvas. Here, what you do is here, customer name, you just drop it here. And then what you do is here, you just go and drop the quantity column here. And then the sales amount, you put it here. Okay, done. I'm done with this. So now what happens is for each customer, right? Each customer, how many number of products they purchased, how much money they spend in our shop, we'll get to know that, right? With this one. All we did was customer name. Look here, this table visual got selected. If I select outside of this, it is not. So how to make sure that this visual got selected? You need to click on this one so that it will get highlighted. Once it get highlighted on the right side of the table, you can see, right, what are the tables that we have used in this table visual. These two tables, customer dimension, NC sales. From these two tables, the columns that we used it. The customer name, look here, the customer name, this come from the dim customer table. Rest of these two columns came from where? The NC sales, right? These two come from NC sales. It is very simple to identify what columns we have used it and in which table these columns are coming. If you click on it, the visual, and if you look at the right side, whatever the columns that you used it from which tables, you will get, those things will get highlighted. Look at tick mark. Quantity sales got ticked, right? That means from these two tables, we have used three columns. Customer name comes from dim customer table. In this case, what happens is the customer table, dim customer table, customer name column filters the fact sales table, which is nothing. One second, I just rename it. Instead of NC sales, I will in real time scenario use fact sales. Fact sales nothing but fact is nothing but the transaction table. We should not say transaction table. In the case of data warehouse, they call the transaction table as a fact sales. And if you go to the model now, okay, the relationship is there. Now look here, watch very clearly. For each customer, how many number of total units purchased by each customer, how much amount they spend it in each transaction, we can see it here, right? So if I go here and if I remove the relationship, what will happen? The customer dimension table will not be able to filter the fact sales. Look here, all the quantities and sales summary is repeating the same value, right? We can see the same value got repeated. It's because the customer dimension table was unable to filter the fact sales table because there is no relationship exists between these two. Got it? Fine, guys. I'm going to wrap up, as of this, because if I talk too much, it'll be. So what we will do is we'll circle back day after tomorrow. In the meanwhile, you watch this video. This Thursday night, we will meet up and then we will continue further. Okay. Meanwhile, watch my video and then practice it. Any questions so far? Today's session, do you have any questions? All right, since you don't have any questions, right, I'm going to wrap up the session. We'll upload the video. I guess all of you are aware of your YouTube channel. Yes, Sanoj, tell me. This report file, yeah, sure. We'll do that, okay? I will just rename it as a, 1 second, save as. PDF and PPT, it is, you have, did you receive the username and password to our website? You can see it there. Yes, right. In the website, it is there, everything. Look here, if you go here and training in Chennai.info, if you go here,